What's up guys, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. Today is the day, I cannot believe it. So if you're new to my channel or you haven't been here in a while, as a reminder, my husband and I have been working on paying off six-figure debt for 3.5 years now, and we had made a ton of progress. We had paid off about 2/3 of our debt over the past 3.5 years up until last month when we sold our house. And I had talked to you guys about the fact that we were on the fence of whether to use the sale proceeds to pay off our student loan debt, which is the last debt in our debt-free journey, and I'll get into the spreadsheet in just a minute to show you all the debts that we've paid off during our debt-free journey. But yeah, I've been on the fence about whether to use a portion of the sale proceeds to just pay off the student loan debt, or whether to hold it or use it towards a down payment on a new house or whatever. For right now, we're renting, we're in an apartment. But my husband and I did make a decision and we are debt-free, kind of. So the amount we got from the sale of our home was more than enough to pay off the remaining $72,000 of our debt. And the reason why we're debt-free, kind of, is because we decided to put a portion of the sale proceeds, enough to cover the balance of my husband's student loan, into a separate account, a high yield savings account, and pay the student loan payment every single month directly from that account and not touch it. Have it just separated out in that bank account where we're not going to draw on it at all for anything except student loan payments. Now there's several reasons why we decided to go this route rather than just making a lump sum payment to pay off the student loans. So first of all, the student loans are only in my husband's name, and he is the primary earner in our family right now. So if something were to happen to him where he couldn't work anymore, since we're not a 2-income household, I mean, I do make money here from YouTube, but it's very part-time. It's not like a full salary at this point. And so if something were to happen to him where he couldn't work anymore, it feels good knowing that worst case scenario, that cash is sitting there. If we actually made the payment to the student loan servicer, we wouldn't be able to get that money back if there was an emergency. So while we don't plan to touch it ever, in the worst case scenario, we would have access to some cash. The next reason we decided to do this is because the interest rate on our student loans is actually lower than the interest rate on our high yield savings account. So the student loan is at a 2.8% interest rate, and the high yield savings account I think is at 4.5% right now. It might even be 4.75, I have to look, but it's between 4 and 5%. So just by having the money in there, we'll be making about like $75 to $100 a month initially, compared to if we had actually like paid off the debt. So we're making a little bit of money off of it. It's not the biggest reason we've done it. Like, it's not a life-changing amount of money that we are earning, just like when you subtract the difference between the two interest rates, but it is something, and it was a factor in our decision. So those were the main reasons we decided to do this. At any point, we could go ahead and do a couple clicks on the computer and pay off the balance of the student loan. And like I said, it's a separate high yield savings account. I opened a brand new account that money is sitting in, and as of today, the amount in the account is actually higher than the amount on our student loan debt because it's already accrued some interest. So for now, I'm just going to let that interest accrue. I'm not going to make extra payments. I'm not going to do anything with it. I really wanted this to be passive, and one of the things that was making me lean towards not doing this and just paying it off is because I didn't want to have to make that payment anymore. And then one of you guys commented on one of my recent videos, I'll try to find that comment, that I should put the money in a high yield savings account, which is kind of what we had already decided on, but then have the payment automatically withdraw from that savings account directly. And I hadn't thought of that because I don't think of paying bills through a savings account versus a checking account, because a lot of savings accounts have limits on the amount of transactions you can do per month. But for this savings account, there's just going to be one like auto withdrawal a month. So that will be within the amount of transactions we're allowed to have. I think I can do like 5 or 6 a month before I get charged a fee or something like that. So yeah, I set that up. So thank you so much for that amazing idea, because that really makes it 100% hands off. So I don't have to touch that account. I don't have to make any transfers. I don't have to hit pay on debt. And like I said, I'm not going to make any extra payments. I'm just going to let that interest build up. And then if at any point we decide we want to pay off a chunk of it or pay off all of it, we can go ahead and do that. But for now, it's just totally hands off, and it's just paying itself down. Now, it's very unlikely we're just going to keep it like that till the loan's paid off, because the payment's only $830 a month and the balance is $71,000, $72,000. So obviously that will take a long time to pay off. I think right now it's at about 7.5 years it would take to pay off off, just paying the minimum payment. And I highly doubt we're gonna let this sit here for 7.5 years. The interest rates are gonna change on our savings account during that time, and just life is gonna change during that time. So I have a feeling we're gonna make a lump sum payment at some point in the next maybe like 2 to 3 years, but for now, at least for like when the interest rates are the way they are and our income situation is the way it is, we are not planning to make a payment. So 2 things I will let you guys know. 1, if we do make a lump sum payment or pay it all off or anything like that, make any sort of large payment other than just the normal monthly payments, I will update you guys and let you know that. The other thing I will let you know is if there is some sort of emergency where we dip into that money, I will not consider us debt free anymore. So at that point, I will let you guys know that we've like gone back into debt, really borrowing from ourselves, but there's no longer enough money in that bank account to cover the balance of our student loans. So I'm considering us back in student loan debt at that point. So we are debt free. I'm calling it debt free because we're not making any more debt payments. There's no more debt payments coming out of our budget. It's done. We're done. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe we are here. Like January 2020 is when we started our debt-free journey, and now we're here. It feels as good as I thought it would. I'll just say that. It really does. I think along the way, it's felt better and better because when you are just accruing debt and you're in that debt cycle, it's so stressful. And as we got further and further along on our debt payoff and got better at it and more certain that we were going to be debt-free one day, that stress started to lift. But I was at a point where I was just so burnt out from making extra debt payments. I just didn't want to do it anymore. And so to have that like mental burden lifted feels amazing. So without further ado, let's take a look at the spreadsheet. If you are on your own debt-free journey or looking to start, I do sell this spreadsheet in my Etsy shop, which will be linked below. It's an instant download to Google Sheets and it comes with a detailed video tutorial. All right, so this is our debt payoff tracking spreadsheet. And if you've been watching me for a while, you've seen this many times over the years. We are on year 4 of our debt-free journey. So we started in January of 2020. Let me just hide these. Okay, so yeah, we are on year 4 and we closed out May because now it's the beginning of June. So here is the update. You can see we started out with these 8 debts. We had a Best Buy credit card, which was at 0% interest because we had bought, I think, like a washer and dryer or something. Can't remember. We had a City Diamond card, which is at 0%. We still have this card. We still have both of these cards open, by the way. They just have 0 balances. And like when I go to Best Buy, I'll use the Best Buy card and then pay it off immediately. Like part of our celebration for being debt free is we bought a new TV. It's actually right over here. I'll show you guys. So yeah, we bought a new TV. Our other TV was 10 years old and it was time to upgrade. So yeah, that's something we did to celebrate being debt free. My husband and I also bought nightstands that were not from IKEA. And so we have like real nice nightstands for our room. We've done some fun spending this month, so that's been amazing. Anyway, back to debt payoff. So yeah, we had my car loan, which obviously all these are now paid off. And then my husband had some student loans from undergrad. We had a home equity line of credit from some construction we did on our house that's now sold. And we had a credit card loan. We consolidated several credit cards into a credit card loan that had a balance of $30,000 at that time. We had my student loans, which, you know, if you've been following me for a while, you know that we got like a big financial windfall that was about $170,000 that paid off the balance of my student loans, but I didn't count that as part of our debt-free journey because that's just like not money that we earned from working, and I just didn't feel like it was fair to count that as money we paid off. So the amount we paid off of my student loans was $33,000, and then my husband's student loan of $106,855 was the last debt on our debt-free journey that we were paying off this year, because at the beginning of January we had all the other ones paid off, and so we were just paying off my husband's, which was in the $70,000 range at the beginning of the year. And so at the beginning of May, the balance was $72,387. So we made the minimum payment in May, plus put about $72,000 into the high yield savings account that's earmarked just for student loans. And so for payments for May, we made $72,550 worth of payments. And payments meaning, you know, putting the money into savings plus actually making the minimum payment for May. and $72,387 of that went to principal and $163 went to interest, which leaves us with a balance of $0. It's so emotional knowing that we spent 3.5 years paying off this debt and now we're here. At first when we sold our home and we like put the money in all the places and got it all set up, it hit me really hard, and then it kind of like didn't feel real for a while, and now it's like hitting me super hard sharing this with you guys. And I'm just so thankful that we went for it, that we looked at that pile of debt and we're like, I don't care that I don't believe it's possible, we're just gonna go for it, because we didn't have another choice. We wanted a family, we had had a baby, we wanted another baby, and I was in a career that I didn't want to be in, and we couldn't afford to have me quit if we didn't pay off some debt. And now here we are 3.5 years later, and life looks totally different. And yeah, I just feel so grateful and so proud of us for everything we've done, and excited to see where we go from here, because paying off debt is not the end of your financial journey. It's just a step along the way. And I'm really, really, really glad to have this step behind us. And yeah, I didn't think I would get emotional, but thank you guys so much for following me and cheering us on and being supportive and encouraging and sharing your own numbers, and just thank you, because if I didn't have this platform to share and be consistent and feel like I had to show up for you guys, I just know it wouldn't have gone as well as it did. And so thank you so much. Okay, so let's finish up the spreadsheet and wrap this video up before it ends up being like way too long. So year to date, we have put $77,090 to debt, $76,256 went towards principal, and only $834 went towards interest. And that's over 5 months that $834 went towards interest. At the beginning of our debt-free journey, I always like to refer back to this. We paid $1,902 in 1 month towards interest on debt. $1,902 in 1 month versus $800 over 5 months. So it's just, the interest was just destroying our finances. So total, we have paid off $214,663 of debt, and we have no debt left to pay. So that is it for this update. Obviously, this is my last debt-free journey update. I will let you guys know if we do make like a large payment or pay off the balance, but I will not be doing monthly debt-free updates anymore, because I'm not going to be making payments or extra payments, and I'm not even gonna have to click any buttons to make the minimum payment. The money is set aside, it's ready to go, just waiting there to pay off this debt. So I will miss this series, our student loan debt disaster. It was such a disaster. When I started sharing these videos, I think we were at $329,000 of debt, most of which was student loans, and now we're at $0. Unbelievable. But like I said, just because we're done paying off debt doesn't mean our financial journey's over. I'll be sharing tons of videos still here on my channel about where we're at with our investing for retirement and saving and trying to get back into a house now that we are in an apartment. We'll have to make sure we can get our finances in order to have the right down payment to get back into a house, which is our ultimate goal, and all that stuff. So there'll be plenty to talk about still. And I am going to continue talking about debt and sharing your stories through my debt confession series, and lots of good stuff and content around debt still. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up and comment below and let me know how you guys are doing in your debt-free journey and how long you've been following ours. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.